Farscape Academy Inspector Training. Here we are. We're in Edgewater, and we're looking at 4 farscapes side by side. Let's take a look at some of the things you need. It must be structurally sound, must be kept painted. Let's see if from a yard what we can see whether a farscape is structurally sound and has been kept painted. So, if there was an inspection or a violation sent to all these 4 buildings, and they wrote the violation scrape and paint, let's see who's scraped and painted their farscape. So, this farscape right here is nice and shiny and black, so they have scraped and painted their farscape. The farscape next to it, it's still got plenty of paint left on it, but it's looking like it's getting to the age where it needs a paint job. If you look at this farscape over here, it looks like it's got some rust that's starting to show, but it needs a paint job. And then you got that spiral down there that even though you're looking at it from afar, it looks like it's still got paint on it, and it probably just needs a spot paint job, but otherwise the paint looks pretty good. But let's take a look at things that we're going to look for that are structurally related, issues that would cause a violation to be written structurally. First of all, 3 ladders on here. Let's see which one of them has the cables and the release arm. This one has a release arm. As you can see right up there, there's a little bar that basically stops the ladder from being pulled down by anybody and being used to break into the building. So this one has a release arm. That one over there does not have a release arm on it. So it's an evidence that ladder probably is out of balance, does not drop 2 to 3 feet per second as required by law. This one over here has a balance on it also, no release arm. And we have a spiral over there. On this one, on the staircase, take a look at they must have welded all those treads into position. See all the burn marks on the stringer? That's an indicator that they just welded it, but they didn't, clean it up after the fact. So, and those welds should be sealed so that it doesn't fill with rust and pop the treads. Notice also some tears on the wall. And you can see tears on the wall over there by the spiral, meaning that water, because it's a plate on top of that, is getting back to the, feeding water back to the supports and back to the wall and eating all the paint. Let's take a look on this one. You got welds in all the treads. Looks pretty good. You're trying to look from below to try to see if there's any rust growth of any kind. When you look straight up, again, we're going to walk the farscape to make sure that there's no rust in the top. If it is, we're going to seal it. And if it needs any reinforcement, you just re-bolt the tread and give it a reinforcement. If we have any problems with these supports, all you need to do is put a bolt on one of the supports, keep the original weld, but reinforce it with a bolt, and that'll satisfy the structural condition. But again, this farscape is nice and painted. Let's take a look at this one. If you can see on the video, tears coming down from every one of those treads. That's an indication that water has gotten in from above because they use diamond plate, and that water and the snow that sits there for weeks during the summer is what's feeding water into that. So when you have farscapes, this is a welded farscape, this is a welded farscape, that's a welded farscape, and that's another welded farscape. So here's 3 welded farscapes where one is nice and painted, the other ones have not been maintained or painted, and you can see evidence of water getting into the rusted connections, and when that happens, they become compromised and they become suspect. When they become suspect, the only cure for them is not another weld, but another bolt that goes through the connection. So, looking back into the wall, everything's through bolted into the wall. There's no evidence that I can see that any of the through bolts are compromised because they're underneath the caps and the covers of the angle, but they look in pretty good condition. Otherwise, there's nothing of a balcony bowing out or sticking out that was an indicator that something happened on the inside. And the other reason too that we're doing this video is look at that spiral. So spirals can be an answer. In some rare cases, spirals were approved. Very rare do you get the approval for a spiral, but there's a spiral farscape solution there, staircase solutions here with ladders to the ground. So if you have any questions, give us a call here at Farscape Engineers, 866-649-0333 on this or any other video that you've seen at Farscape Academy. And we're here in Edgewater, New Jersey, training on farscapes.